Numbers Game with Gill Alexander on VSiN, the sports betting network.
On tomorrow's episode of the Ron Flatter Racing Pod, Belmont Park Morning Line writer David Aragona of Timeform US previews Saturday's Woodward Stakes. Starlight Racing's Jack Wolf talks about the horses he has racing during opening weekend at Santa Anita. Racing Post Scott Burton looks at Sunday's running of Europe's richest race. And VSiN's Vinny Maliulu handicaps weekend races. Subscribe now at iHeart, Apple, Google, Spotify, or Stitcher, or download it tomorrow morning at VSiN.com/podcast. It's the Ron Flatter Racing Pod, sponsored by First Bet. It's Gill Alexander. Shohei Ohtani with 2 stolen bases last night. So he's having a 45-25 year. Is on the Cy Young market. And then people still want to say Vlad Guerrero, who is not going to win a single one of the Triple Crown categories, is the MVP? Yeah, sure. Okay. Got it. Tennis match. The Collins-Mertens tennis match does not begin until 8:50 Pacific, 11:50 Eastern, so still 20 minutes also to get in that bet. Bill Krackomberger joins us from South Carolina, where he's hanging out today. At Bill Crackman with the K, the name of the podcast, by the way, Wisecracks, with John Orlando and Bill Krackomberger, wherever podcasts are distributed. Jeffrey Parlay has a harrowing tale he would like to tell us about. You went to the ATM, was it, Jeff? What happened?
I was given 50s.
Oh, no. What does that mean, Bill? Jeez. It's macabre.
That's terrible. Don't they know they're in Vegas? I mean, how can you put 50s, load an ATM with 50s?
What the heck? Oh, you're doomed.
Disgusting.
Jeez. All right. Let's get that out of the way. All right. Old Vegas superstition. Could you imagine you guys have 50s coming out and Carlson screaming at the top of his lungs, "What are you giving me?"
Only us East Coast guys know about that.
Yeah,
but
man.
You're included. Oh, God.
That's right.
50s.
Right for the East Coast.
I love when you get that. You go to the counter and you get 50s from the clerk sometimes. They don't realize and then when they're done counting them all out, I hand them all back.
Yeah, no. So I'm gonna need a different current. I'm gonna need a different outlay on this. Sorry.
I'll take 20s. I'll take 20s over 50s. Yeah.
What other ridiculous betting superstitions do you have, by the way?
Well, first, let's go back to your point.
Yes.
So, Gil, at the beginning of the season, I gave out Ohtani as the MVP at 31. I got 31-1. It's funny. The place only took $33 to win 1,000, but never moved the line. So I continued to bet it. I think I bet it 24 times. I think it's to win 24,000 on the MVP. So now my assistant immediately was talking about Guerrero. He's listening to the show now. I don't mean to embarrass him, but he said, maybe we should take some Guerrero 12-1. I don't think that I have to, right? I think I'm all right.
No, you're fine. Literally one of the most ridiculous hills that people have died on these last couple months is the Shohei shouldn't win MVP, Vlad should crowd. Like, it's just one of the most ridiculous arguments. It's like, guys, sorry, pick a different argument. And it's fascinating also. Those same people will accuse you of using different criteria for your arguments in both leagues. No, we're not doing that either. Sorry, that's not at all what we're doing. It's the difference between doing something historical versus doing something that's, really good in any season. And until folks get that, then we're going to have these ridiculous arguments. Shohei Ohtani's the MVP in the AL. What is he, minus 4,000 currently? What is he? I mean, yeah.
He's minus 50-1 at the Jersey books. Yeah.
The only question will be what the percentage he wins by is. And by the way, Salvador Perez deserves, a vote or two, more than Vladimir Guerrero does. Vladimir Guerrero's having a great year. Wonderful. But look, they're on the outside looking in too at this point. That's the thing. All these MVP candidates are on the outside looking in this year. There are no playoff MVPs, and that's just the way the cookie crumbled this year in terms of that particular argument.
Yeah. Go back to the superstitions. So I don't have it on right now, but I do have a Italian horn with me, and someone gave it to me because you can't buy it for yourself with this superstition. And I'm not really a superstitious person, but I like to knock on wood because I always was born and raised with knocking on wood. Hanging around Teddy Atlas, too, he's always knocking on wood. So I see him do it all the time when I'm with him. So I start doing it just out of him doing it. But there is superstitions growing up on the East Coast. And one is when people are jealous of you or are mad at you, or they'll put a hex on you. So you need an Italian horn, but you can't buy the Italian horn. If you look this up, you can't buy it for yourself. It has to be given to you as a gift. Now, I didn't even know I needed this particular gift, but someone just gave it to me and made the comment about the Italian horn. So I thought that was kind of funny. And it's funny, I'm as you can see the background here, I moved rooms, Gill. If you notice, I am in a different room of the homestead. I am in they call this the sunroom. On the lawn there in the back is where that, before the Civil War, the last Confederate meeting was on that lawn. So really interesting. I took a tour today with there's a couple guys here that still keep up the house, and they drive here every day. And one of the guys said, "You want to take her around the golf cart with me? And I'll drive around the estate and show you some more of the other houses and the area." And there's 70 horses here with amazing stables, just really, really beautiful. They own 20,000 acres of property. This is a really historic area, and it's preserved too. It's not going away. Generations and generations will get to enjoy this house that was built in 1832. But on the house property, I can't believe I've been talking about this, but you mentioned it. Out of nowhere, the guy that's driving me around on the golf court said, "We don't know where that black cat comes from." There's a black cat outside just over by the stables, and they don't feed him, and he just shows up all the time. So automatically my brain thinks, there's a black cat. I got to cross this guy. But so it's stupid. We know it doesn't mean anything. We know there's
this isn't a superstition, but Las Vegas Chris and I, multiple contest winner here in Las Vegas, obviously won at the Wynn, won at the Palms, won Last Man Standing College at Stations, finished second and fifth in Circa last year, in Circa Millions, and has been on the show many, many times. Love Las Vegas Chris. We were talking about, this isn't a superstition, but talking about betting quirks. There was a game the other night, I think it was the Cowboys-Eagles game, and he texted me around third quarter. The game was already out of hand. The Cowboys were crushing. Probably should have been even worse on the scoreboard than it was. And he tweeted me, because we love talking about little psychological betting things, but he tweeted me about how the fact that you watch a game like that, you thought about betting Dallas, but you ended up not betting it. And it's just the way your brain processes that is like, oh, see, I was right. So you're mad at yourself for not betting it. And then here's the key part. You trick yourself into thinking you're smarter than you are kind of thing. Like that accumulates as well. And it's one of those betting things that your confirmation bias only remembers the times where you didn't bet it and it would have won. But your brain purges, and this is me now riffing on it, your brain purges the times where you thought about betting something and it lost. Right? It's just that, it's the same thing. It's the guy at the blackjack table who, when a guy comes in mid-hand and all of a sudden you go from winning to losing, they remember that and get mad at the person who came in not hand, but what do you call it? Mid-shoe.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to the times when a guy comes in mid-shoe and they still end up winning, their brain doesn't remember those times, right? That's the gambler's fallacy is a phenomenal thing to observe.
The word fallacy is the right word. Perfect word to end with. Absolutely correct. The gambler's fallacy, along with many different things, you could say that too. Just like when you watch it's funny because I was watching the game and the Eagles fans we were in one of the Atlantic City casinos, and the Eagles fans that were there are just looking at the game from their side of the bet. And like we've talked about this before on the show, everything that happened or called against the Eagles, they found reason that the game was fixed.
Of course.
Fixed.
Of course.
They found reasons why the game was, they actually said, this is fixed. They fixed it again. I can't believe it. There was a guy sitting by me. I wanted to record him. He actually said the word fixed many times. And then another fan came over and said, this is ridiculous. This was meant to be. They did this to us again. This is all fake. It's fixed. I was like, wow, these guys think the game's fixed? That's such a strong word. Dude. In my world, even, when reporters ask me that question, I laugh at that. Fixed? Come on. That's ridiculous. It's the NFL. Making millions of dollars. Give me a break.
Bill, one of the more successful gamblers I know, just yesterday, says, as the absolute audacity, I just couldn't stop laughing when he said, he goes, yeah, you're talking about it through the bias of your bet. I always use numbers. And I'm like, wait. Did you autocorrect I and you? Like, you're the guy who, whenever there's a penalty in any football game or any soccer game, if it goes counter to your bet, you're always making up like you've been aggrieved somehow. You completely see it through your bet. Like, you're the most biased person I've ever met in my life, but you don't view it that way. You think you're the unbiased. It's unbelievable. And again, what makes gambling so infinitely interesting is that it's a reflection of the human condition, because those same people will be that way outside of betting as well. It's fascinating to observe. You're just like, wow, did that just come out of your mouth? That's incredible. We'll do more with Bill Krackomberger at Bill Crackman with the K on Twitter, and again, his podcast Wisecracks with Bill Krackomberger, and John Orlando, available where all podcasts are distributed. We'll come back on A Numbers Game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.